The speech entitled Scotland, Where Did It All Go Wrong? Please welcome Matthew Davies.
As a proud Scottish man, one of the things that interests me greatly is standing up in front of groups of people and reeling off lists of wondrous inventions that the Scots have bestowed upon the world. The television, the telephone, penicillin, the gas mask, the speedometer, tubular steel, the steamboat, cordite, the adhesive postage stamp, the post office, the radar, the hypodermic syringe, the kaleidoscope, Bovril, all wonderful inventions, I'm sure you will agree. However, one thing that has come to my attention of late is that despite a strong history of inventing, the Scots have dipped somewhat over the last 100 years and no longer hold that lofty status of land of wonderful inventors that we did. Now, I believe that by uniting under the banner of fantastic inventions that our nation has put on the planet, that we can unite and come forward and bring some fantastic inventions to the fore and take our place back up there on the map of wondrous inventing nations. So today, in order to give you an overview of how the inventions of Scotland have decreased in both quality and quantity, I've got a couple of case studies which I've prepared for you, each of which focus on a different area of Scotland and which shows the change over the last 100 or 200 years. Case study 1 concerns the northeast of Scotland, and in particular the town of Stonehaven. A town with a population of around 10,000 people, it lies 15 miles to the south of Aberdeen on the east coast. It's a modern tourist trap, much in the style of Portobello, and includes such wonderful hotspots as Stonehaven Caravan Park, the UK's only Olympic-sized outdoor saltwater heated pool, because ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you will agree, few things rival the entertainment of swallowing gallon upon gallon of warm salt water. And seagulls the size of cows, which have been known to pick babies from their prams and carry them out to sea as hostages. As you enter Stonehaven, signs read, birthplace of R.W. Thompson, inventor of the pneumatic tyre. Now, Robert William Thompson was a prominent inventor in the 1800s, and as well as the pneumatic tyre, this great gentleman gave us the fountain pen, the daddy of modern writing implements. But beyond this, a device which is in fact more useful than those two, his most famous inventions, was one which emitted an electrical charge which could be used to detonate explosives and which saved hundreds, possibly even thousands of lives in the mining industry at the time. For some reason, Stonehaven then entered some kind of invention hibernation period, and it took until the mid-1990s where Stonehaven rose again like a clinically obese phoenix from the flames, an invention on the planet that literally sent shockwaves across the civilized world. The deep-fried Mars bar, ladies and gentlemen. The wrong seal of modern snack foods, the deep-fried Mars bar is in fact a Mars bar which is battered and then deep-fried. Alongside its cousins, the Lorne sausage and the Stoner, the deep-fried Mars bar is partly responsible for the fact that Scotland now leads the way in heart disease, death by heart disease, and teenage obesity for all countries in the Western world. Stand up and take a bow, Stonehaven, you have done our nation proud. Case study 2 concerns Fife. In 1876, a gentleman from Kirkcaldy, Fife, was holidaying in Ireland when he missed his train because the timetable didn't state whether the train was in the AM or the PM. Hugely frustrated by this, as you may be, he sought to alleviate further problems for himself and other travellers. And he did this by lobbying for the use of the 24-hour clock and creating a system whereby the world was split into 15-degree intervals known as time zones. Ladies and gentlemen, Sir Stanford Fleming from Kirkcaldy, Fife invented universal standard time. Now, it's fair to say that it's a tough challenge for the Kingdom of Fife to come up and have another invention as impressive as the invention of time. I'm sure you'll agree. And that's why it took well over 100 years before they came back to the fore. Enter Andrew Gordon. For those of you who are not familiar with Dragon's Den, it's a BBC TV series where a den of 5 millionaires are approached by wannabe inventors who ply their wares in an attempt to receive funding to take their inventions to the next level. In Series 2 of Dragon's Den, a young inventor from Scotland known as Andrew Gordon approached the dragons with an invention which he hoped would revolutionise people's lives. Ladies and gentlemen, this stable table, a device created to prevent tables from wobbling. That's correct. A device to stop tables from wobbling. This was described by one of the dragons as the most ridiculous idea I've ever seen. Take a bow, Andrew Gordon, you've done your nation proud. Now, I'm sure you'll agree that these anecdotes are both interesting and heartily amusing, judges. However, You're wondering, as you sit there, what can I do to take our nation forward and put us back on the map as a land of wonderful inventions? How can I ensure that Scotland goes forward and that in 100 years' time, speakers at ToastMasters, Capital Communicators are able to tell stories with lists of new inventions that Scotland's put on the map? Well, I've put together 3 possibilities for ways that you can do that. Number 1, this is the riskiest. It involves the theft of a great idea. All you need to do is befriend a naive genius, and just as they're about to put their invention to market, you sneak in under their nose, patent it as your own, and steal the profits. Now this has the disadvantage that you will only benefit in Scotland on our inventive nature as a nation if the inventor wasn't actually Scottish. And also, if they've patented it or taken detailed inventor's notes, you may find yourself in legal trouble. So that might not be the ideal option for you. Option number 2, however, I call augmentation. This involves taking an existing design, adding something to it, and passing it off as a new design. Another option, my preferred option, is to take 2 or more existing designs, stick them together, and come up with a device with dual functionality. Such examples might include a device with a toilet brush on one end and a toothbrush on the other. Or a hat which emits a signal that scares off mice. 2 wonderful inventions, I'm sure you will agree, neither of which is currently available on the UK marketplace. However, my preferred option is idea number 3, and this is by far the simplest. Idea number 3 involves claiming you invented something you did not in fact invent. For this I will require a volunteer. What's your name, sir?
Nick.
Nick, are you familiar with the idea of space travel?
Reasonably.
I invented that. Thank you, Nick. You'll notice that Nick is awestruck by the sheer magnitude of my inventive nature, and I have done my bit to put Scotland back on the map. As you will have seen, becoming a fantastic inventor and doing your country proud is no more difficult than just making up some lies. So embrace your heritage, do your bit, and put Scotland back on the map. I thank you.
Can anyone do a drum roll? Louder! First place tonight for the humorous speech contest is Matthew Davies. Yeah.
When I was putting the speech together, the first thing I did was, I actually hadn't looked at my DVD from last year, and Ruben put it online, so I took a scope over it on YouTube, and it's there for everyone to see. And it was the bits that were funny last year are still funny, but I thought the delivery was chronic, and it was really, really poor. It was just kind of joke after joke, badly structured, badly delivered, reading off the sheet a lot of the time. And so this year I thought I'm going to put a lot more effort into trying and make it a little bit more structured and work a lot harder and try and know the speech. And I didn't think that I'd included enough humour in it. I thought I'd kind of gone too far the other way and had it too organised and not funny enough. But hey, maybe not. So thank you very much.
Well, there's always next year for more jokes.
Well, that's it, absolutely. Good.